So the fairway wood. What is it about the fairway wood that strikes fear into the heart of so many golfers? And yet other golfers love their fairway woods and just want to use them everywhere. So I've got the #1 reason that you will struggle with your fairway woods, and we're going to get straight into it. So first things first, where are you choosing to use your fairway woods? Particularly the 3 wood can be a difficult club to hit at the best of times. So you really want to have a good lie to use the 3 wood. So what that means is not having too heavy grass so the ball's sitting down, not having no grass much at all, not much of a slope this way or a ball above or below your feet. So you really want almost the perfect lie for your 3 wood, because it's not an easy club to hit off the ground. It's the only club in the bag you will hit, it's the longest club in the bag that you will hit without a tee. So that's why it's a tricky club to hit anyway. So you do want to be confident with it and you do want to be able to use it, but generally speaking, keep it to a fairly nice lie. And then the 5 wood, you have a little bit more leeway. The grass can be a little bit heavier or a little bit thinner. And you can get away with some slopes with the 5 wood. The 5 wood's actually a really great little club to have as your general fairway wood. I've actually got a 4 wood here. And a lot of people are starting to use a 4 wood as a general fairway wood club because it's a bit easier to hit than the 3 and it goes a bit further than the 5. And it's also quite good out of those slightly awkward lies. So you might want to invest in a 4 wood potentially. And then that becomes your kind of fairway wood. Then you go down into your hybrids and down into your irons after that. So check your lie first before you choose your fairway wood. So the main reason that people struggle with their fairway woods is because a fairway wood is a sweeping action. It's not like an iron where you hit down on the bottom of the ball, which lifts it up. You need much more of a rotating sort of a sweeping action. And people who tend to be really good at their irons sometimes struggle with the fairway woods, and vice versa. If your action is a little bit more hitting down, you'll tend to favour your irons. And if you tend to be more of a sweeper, then you'll love your woods. So that's why people sometimes struggle with their fairway woods, to the point where they'll just put them away in the bag, and not bring them out at all, which is such a shame because you need all the distance you can get, particularly women, particularly on those fairway shots. Being able to hit your fairway woods can add 10, 20, 30 metres per shot. And by the time you have a couple of those, it could be the difference between getting on in regulation or not. So let's get those fairway woods working. Now, the #1 reason, and by far the most common reason that people struggle with their fairway woods, is because they're trying to do the work for the club. It's such a common problem in golf. I think if you could pick one thing that causes the most problems in golf, it's you trying to do the work for the club. And they spend a lot of money and a lot of technology and a lot of time designing these clubs to do the work for you, so you need to let that happen. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So have a little look at this fairway wood here, and you can see that there's not a great deal of loft. So what happens when you look down on the top of it, there's a part of you that thinks, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to lift that up in the air? I need to help it. Well, no, that's probably the worst thing you can possibly do. And what happens when you try and help the ball up into the air is 2 things. So the 2 things that happen when you try and lift the ball up in the air are that you'll drop your right shoulder down in an effort to sort of help it up. And then what happens is the left elbow bends as well, because that's another way of sort of helping the ball up into the air. But as soon as that elbow bends and that shoulder drops, then you're going to hit the ground behind the ball. Or if you try not to hit the ground behind the ball, you'll top it. The club is coming up through the shot. We never want the club coming up through the shot. We always want the club going slightly down through the shot, even though, as I said, there's more of a sweeping action. So how do we get that sweeping action, and how do we resist this urge to lift the ball up? Well, it's not going to be a quick fix, unfortunately. It's going to take a little bit of practice, but at least you know what to do, and I'll show you what that is. So 2 things that we're covering are the elbow and the shoulder. So instead of this tilting action here, we really need a very level turn with fairway woods. Drive is the same. So we need to keep the shoulders reasonably level to the ground to get that sweeping action. As soon as this right shoulder drops, this action, it's not going to work. You're going to hit the ground, you're going to top. So get out to the range with a 7-iron, pop a ball on a low tee, and you're going to do some short, slow motion swings where you're trying to feel that right shoulder stays nice and high. You might pop your club across your shoulders and simulate that feeling. As soon as you feel that tilt, keep the shoulders level. Now you need to combine that with that straight leading arm. So left for right-handers, right for left-handers. So short swings with a 7-iron, level shoulder turn, right shoulder nice and high, keeping that arm straight. So with your 7-iron, you might just do some swings like this, just some half swings, nice and slow, until you get the feel for what that feels like to do those two things in tandem. Right shoulder staying fairly high for right-handers, and left arm staying nice and straight. Okay, now as I said, this is not going to be a quick, easy fix. This is going to be something you need to get to the range. You might need to practice it for a few weeks. If you don't feel that it's starting to improve, get some lessons, because this is not something you can really get from just a video tip like this. It's not a quick fix, unfortunately, and you really want those fairway woods to be working well for you. I think it makes such a difference to your game, just to be confident. And to have one club that sits in the bag and you think, oh, I can't hit that, it's just a shame. So get out to the range, try out these couple of little drills I've given you, get your 7-iron, short swings, feel the two things, high right shoulder, straight left arm. You can then start to work that up into your fuller swing. Try and make sure you take the good positions through the short swing all the way up to the full swing, and you'll start to get the height back on your shot, you'll start to get the connection back on your shots, and bit by bit you'll be able to get that fairway wood back out of the bag and back onto the course.